So getting the buckets out. So this is the Charlotte branch. So the sales room's in the back. We literally have this whole wall, and then it lines the whole wall in the sales room. And there's big buckets of flyers. That's how we launched Charlotte, with flyers. It took a little bit of time. I'm not going to lie, it didn't like blow up right out of the blue. It took some time, but we got one territory manager, then we got 2 more territory managers, and it was like boom, 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 right? And then you start seeing it all come together. But the flyering really, really works. But you got to have your initial contact flyer, which is gloss coat both sides with a medium-sized binder clip. Has to be gloss coat both sides because I literally water tested it in my sink. That way it doesn't get moisture, it doesn't crack and look really bad the next morning, right? You want it to last about 3 days. But 325 fit into a 30-gallon tote. So you saw we have the bags, right? We do like 434 flyers in a bag. And so with the totes, you can get 325 in there. I switch it up, guys. So see how the flyer's kind of folded sideways? It's the law of diminishing return. Everybody heard about that? The law of diminishing return? Where everything, if you start doing this for multi-years, it just fades out. Everybody saw it so many times that it's nothing new. They kind of fade it out of their mind, right? Especially like with TV ads for us, right? We're watching TV and you see an ad and then you don't see it anymore because it's just blind to us. So you have to change things up. Your marketing has to be different year to year, right? So it's like, oh, I remember that from last year. They changed it up a little bit. It's got to be different. It's got to grab their attention. So I'll even go a step further and I'll fold it sideways. Then I'll take the flyer and I'll squeeze it at the bottom so it's sticking up straight, but then fold it sideways and put the binder clip on it. So it'll kind of feather down on the driveway. So switching it up so it looks different. It's not like, oh, again, you know what I mean? Pick it up and throw it in the trash. It's something different. So like, what is that, you know? And then it gets it in the house. But in spring, have 30,000 ready. So like right now, guys, you got to have 20 to 30,000 ready. Like have a plan of action and get it done. You know what I mean? Don't do 5,000. When I first was in business, I was like, dude, I'm going to get 500 out this month. I was like, that's going to be a lot. 500 houses I'm going to hit. I'm going to get 25 jobs. It's going to be awesome. What the heck was I thinking? We don't know what we don't know, right? So if you put out 30,000 flyers, you're going to get some momentum. You're creating the buzz, right? So you have the mailing list. You're really doing your due diligence. You know the areas you want to target. Get the buzz going. Get the ball rolling. Then you can start popcorn marketing off of it. You're in the shirt. You could even put a freaking yards, big old sign and stand in the middle of the Woodruff Road, which is the busiest road out here, and say, we wash houses. Whatever it takes. You know what I mean? Pay somebody $8 an hour to have a sign. I did that. I did do that. And then we have a costume. We started a Savvy Can, and I have a little costume, trash can costume. The little mouth is open. It's pretty cool. You want to wear that, don't you, Jack?
Why am I going to wear that?
I have that up there. You can't have that. Yes, sir.
And where did you say you got your flyers from?
Gotprint.com. And we get like business cards there. You get 5,000 business cards for like $35 or something like that.
Got print, one word.
Gotprint, yes, sir.
You
One
get
word.
boulders for less than
$1.
Yeah, that's right.
What's the lead time on those?
What's that?
What's the lead time on those?
Lead time on flyers isn't bad. It's like 2 weeks. Yeah, it's not bad. All right, so place a highlighted map for 325 in the top of each tote. So we printed it off, right? We got that snipping tool. We found the address. It's got all the roads and streets. You highlight all the roads and streets so we hit everything, right? Because you'll go into some subdivision and you're like, right turn. You're like, oh, shoot, I'm lost, right? So if you have a map and you highlighted it, you know you're going to go in and out, right? Follow the mail route. If you make enough right turns, you'll get around it, right?
At the initial flyering, everything.
So in the initial, if you've never flyered in your territory before, kind of get everything going, blanket everything to kind of get the buzz, then be very specific. So you are going to get a little bit more complaints in the initial, right? It's going to happen. But we make people, if you're not making people mad, you're not advertising. I don't care what you're doing. People are going to, complain that you mailed them a postcard. It's too big. It wouldn't fit in my mailbox or whatever, right? So they're going to get mad. If you're not getting complaints, you're not advertising. So get that out there. Yes, blanket everything in the very initial, and then you want to be very, very specific. All right, so get family members, staff, friends, etc. to help deliver the flyers. USPS drivers are awesome because they work 3 days a week. They usually have 1 or 2 days off. And they know the area, right? Because they're mail delivery. I had 2 guys that were coming in. We actually had 4. And I bought that white mail Jeep out there. That's right-hand drive and everything. And we had, throwing flyers and all that stuff. But I had mail guys coming in. They were taking our sales vehicles and going out with the GPS and literally flyering because they knew the juicy neighborhoods. I was like, yeah, this is what we want. We had the maps. We showed them the, neighborhoods that we wanted. And he's like, oh, I know that like the back of my hand. Why not? So go to the UPS places, USPS, and say, hey, do you guys want a part-time job or something like that? And they're like, heck yeah. They love driving around. Now, a lot of those guys are retired, too. You might even pick up some territory managers, right? So make marketing pushes 1 week. So in 1 week, you need to deliver 15,000 flyers. In 1 week. If you do it over a month, it doesn't really create that buzz. You literally put out 15,000 flyers, you want 30 or 40 calls on your answering machine. Because then you're like, okay, now we got to get to work. Because it's going to happen. So a 1% return over 1 month will yield 120 quotes. Pretty awesome, right? You got to get it out. And then sending personal letters. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. So some neighborhoods are gated and don't allow handbills. So like Gary was talking about, you want to be able to get those addresses, and then you want to do, an EDDM or a SendGym or, whatever you're doing right now. You're going to mail to them, so that gets you into the gated community, and then very nonchalantly only hit a couple of those houses and get the ball rolling. You got to overcome these things. If you can't flyer and it says no handbills, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a host home. So a host home for us is we're going to clean that very first house in the subdivision, and we're going to do hot dogs. We're going to bring the grill out there. We're going to do it on a Saturday. We're going to send out letters to everybody. And we're going to say, hey, we're doing the neighbor's house. Come check it out. We got food. We got a truck out there. You can spray your kids with it. It's going to be amazing, right? You can even bathe your dog if you want. So you get them to come out on a Saturday and watch you clean the roof and show them the difference of the soft washing. Get the buzz going in the community. You're going to have time, right? Because you got a lot of work to do.
You said you're doing that for free?
What's that?
You doing that house for free?
Yeah, I would either do it for free or the cost, whatever you want to do. So depending on the neighborhood, I'd be like, hey, let's go ahead and do this for free because we know what this neighborhood's going to yield, right? Or you can say, hey, I notice your roof has stains on it. We can do it for 50% of the cost because we really want to get in your neighborhood. We've done a couple houses, but we're not getting any traction. Is it okay if we do it on a Saturday and do a barbecue and invite the neighbors to come check it out? We want your house to be yard of the month or whatever, get them excited about it. And that's a good way to get into those communities that you can't otherwise. You mailed to it a bunch of times. You're like, what the heck? They're not calling off my ad. What's going on? So that's when I'll do that. The other thing you could do with these flyers is you could put your business card. I put my face on my business card. I don't know if you guys seen my business card, but I have my face and my territory manager's face on the business card. So when you have that binder clip, you can stick other things in the binder clip. You can stick your business card in there with the flyer. You can do a coupon for that month. You can do a special. Get creative, right? That's the whole name of the game. So you can put a little club card on there and then put a special, spring special, fall special, gutter special, free driveway with roof cleaning, whatever you want to do, right? And then get creative with it to get it different and getting out there. And they're like, what is that? Oh, sweet. Got a little coupon on there? Make it bright green or something like that. Make it fun. So get creative with it. But sometimes include the letter of references from their neighbors' jobs as well. So if they, hey, that was an awesome testimonial. Do you mind writing that up on a piece of paper for me? And then copying it and putting in a personal letter, and then mailing it. You want to do things like putting a key in the letter. Don't just mail it and not put anything in there because they're going to be like, no. You want to put something in it. That way there's like, whoa, it's got some weight to it. And they're like, what? They start feeling it. They're like, a key? Did I win something? Maybe a house, maybe a car, whatever, right? They're going to open it because now curiosity killed the cat, right? So you got to create that curiosity. Same with your marketing. We can touch a little bit even on marketing. Like your ad can't have too much information on it. Remember I told you it took 4 or 5 times to get my initial contacted flyer down to where I'm getting 1 call per 100 flyers? You can't have too much information. You want it to be curiosity. They have to want to call the office. There has to be taglights. There's got to be like, call today. Why? You know what I mean? Oh, I need to call. You got to create that action, that call to urgency, all that stuff, right? That way they're calling in. Before and after pictures work great too. So if you had that neighbor's home, or you could take a picture of that home now, and you can use an app, and then you can actually make like half and half and make it look like you cleaned the roof and say, this is what your house could look like. So there's cool things to do. Those aren't on my top 10 list as far as like doing the personal letters. I will do that if I'm just dried up an area. We were doing that neighborhood I was talking about yesterday where we had like 25 yard signs. When you drove into the subdivision, it was a whole bunch of yard signs. And then it just dried up. And I was like, what in the world? We have like 30, 35 yard signs out there. Why aren't we getting calls? And then so I was like, hey guys, you're on your last house in the neighborhood. Just spot up a window. Just spray it, don't rinse it. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, just leave it on there. Trust me. He's like, I don't want to touch it. What are you talking about, Pat? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm going to go clean it. So what happens is good news doesn't travel as fast as bad news, right? We all know that. Social media is a perfect, resource for that. But so we did that. The lady calls back the next day. You're like, everything looks great, but the guys didn't do like 3 windows on the back. They look really bad. I'm like, oh my goodness, are you serious? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be right out there. I already knew it was up. My truck's already running. Boom, what'd I do? I went right out there that day, cleaned the windows. Guess what she did?
Told everybody.
Exactly. We created a buzz again, right? So she told the neighborhood, you guys have been doing awesome, but they messed up these windows, but they were right out that day and took care of it, and now they look better than ever, right? And then they told the neighbor, and then we started getting traction back. It's crazy how that works, but I was just testing it, and it really works. So it's just how you take care of the customers. It's not always, hey, do a 110% job on the house. It's how you take care of it. But yeah, like you got to create that stuff. You got to make it fun, right? And then focus on your wins. So why am I getting these jobs? Track this stuff, you know what I mean? Did I have a breath mint in? Did I say something wrong? Watch how they're reacting to things, right? Use that disc profile that we saw yesterday. All this stuff is really cool.